What do you say, whole heads? Welcome to a two for Taco Tuesday, if you will, here from the ACO Underground. Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO, going to be anchoring our coverage as Frank is still making his way back from the Clearwater Major at the OCC Roadhouse. But we've got lots to cover. We're going to start with maybe the thing you need to know the most, and that is if you are attending the Lake Charles Major this weekend. Friday's going to go as planned. Saturday, everything's been moved back to 9:30 for a 9:30 start, and you will be asked to park on the opposite side of the event center. Why? Because we started season 20 with a big bang in Buffalo and Clearwater, and the big bang gets even bigger in Lake Charles. They're going to be bringing down the Capital One Tower, which is not far from the venue, I believe right across the way. And they're going to be bringing it down in what is a 7-second implosion at 8 a.m. on Saturday. So a season that started out with a couple of big bangs, literally and figuratively, really happens this weekend in Lake Charles. Now, we'll post a link down below to a news story that you can reference, and also some places where they recommend that if you'd like to go watch, which I would recommend. I've seen these implosions. They're awesome. And one of the places that suggested is the event center, but parking and timetable will be different. Those of you who are registered should be receiving an e-blast with that information as well. But the hottest topic that you need to know if you're going to Lake Charles would be that one right there for the changes on Saturday. The other hot topics from this past week, we announced on Wednesday that you are going to, if you are in an ACO doubles team made up of 2 ACO pros, you immediately, very similar to what we were doing in singles and what we continue to do in singles, you will be taken straight to the main bracket. That opens up great competition, which we saw some very interesting results from that, at least in Buffalo while I was there. The competition in the main bracket automatically set and going to be awesome, but it also, the competition to get out of pool play, if you just have one pro or no pros on your team, is even more fierce than the opportunities to advance to the main bracket. Maybe open themselves up a little bit more to you. So again, a double-double really. 2 pros, you're automatically advanced into that main bracket. Now, here's the thing. If I'm a pro and say Heinerman's a pro, only half of that's even possible, and we advance, let's say this weekend. Now, if all of a sudden he changes partners, which I would recommend, to another pro, well, the points he earned with me don't count towards those points that he earns with his second partner. So you start from scratch with that partner. You earn your points based on your partner, so keep that in mind. But it did make for some very interesting loser bracket early entries in Buffalo. So know that that is in place. It's going to be happening in every major this season. And it's going to be pretty exciting. Great opportunity, great fierce competition. That's exactly what we want. The biggest announcement we made this week was from Buffalo, the very first place we were starting the season 20, telling you where we're going to be to wrap up season 20. And this has been in the works for a couple of seasons, and it just so happens now is the perfect time to make the announcement that season 20 will wrap up. I believe it's July 22nd through the 26th. There'll be the main divisional competition wrapping up on Saturday the 26th, the ACO World Cornhole Day, just like we always do. Pre-events will be told about. You'll be told about those later on as they develop. Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I was looking up Tulsa. There's a lot of different stuff. Obviously, who's going to be our Tulsa King or our first ever Queen? That's the beauty of the graphic. And I believe that show actually, what is today? The 3rd in 12 days or 13 days, coming up very soon, the season premiere of season 2 of Tulsa King. But I was looking up, there's casino, there's zoo, art museums. I believe there's a Bob Dylan exhibit and facility there. There's all kinds of different things. They have if you know the Cincinnati riverfront and the Serpentine Wall, very cool kind of river walks all the way around. Cool opportunity for you to maybe get to Tulsa if you've never been there, or get back if you have been. But Tulsa, Oklahoma, the site of World's Season 20. And I don't think I'm overreaching by saying the World Season 21 and Season 22 announcements may be coming sooner than you think. So those were the hottest topics of the week. As you can see here in the Underground, we continue to roll and scroll all of our bag partners for Season 20. We continue to add a partner here and a partner there over the course of the coming weeks. But invite you to find a bag or a line of bags that are going to serve you well. And feel free, as we always say, throw down a question if you've got something in the comments. Somebody that uses a particular line of bags or a bag maker partner will be more than happy to give you some guidance. If you haven't signed up for the ACO push text, make sure you do that. All you have to do is text ACO to 833-695-1318. 833-695-1318. Text ACO to that number and then save it in your phone as ACO text, and that way we can push text right to your thumb, even links that you might need to know for updates for the entire ACO. Again, remember, if you press stop at the bottom, it's not stopping that message, it's opting you back out. So once you text ACO to 833-695-1318, you will be in. Just save it into your contacts. Great stuff. Our secret weapons on the social media team making everybody look really, really good over the course of this past weekend from Buffalo and from the OCC Roadhouse and Clearwater. We're going to get to those results here in just a moment. A quick final reminder with regard to the cookbook that we told you about, the Cornhole Cookbook. We sent out an e-blast to everybody. If you have a recipe for tailgating, cornhole, whatever it is, they will walk you through at that link how to submit the recipe, photos, your backstory, everything. If you want to be included in this Cornhole Cookbook, the first of its kind, that will be distributed, I believe, at Walmart from what we're told. The deadline is coming up very quickly. Haley Clark is going to be featured very heavily in the cookbook, as you might imagine. And congratulations to her, because she is still alive and cooking, if you will, on Fox's MasterChef Generations. Wednesday night, she's now in the top 10. She wasn't happy about having to wear a bright orange, what do they call that thing? The apron on this past episode, but she got into the top 10. So let's go, Haley. Let's see you get down to getting into the top, 1. How about that? So that's all the cooking news we have for you right now. But congratulations again to Haley Clark into the top 10. Looking forward to seeing how all of that wraps up. And we do have a few new team members here involved in the taco. And you're going to meet one here. She's a little bit nervous, so bear with her. But why don't you say hello to one of the newest members of the TAICO team.
Hey there, Wholeheads. I'm Amy. Congratulations to all of our ACO Season 21st Pitch Doubleheader Weekend winners. We're just getting started. Here with all the details is my boy, Finn.
Appreciate that, Amy. Thank you very much. A-I-M-Y. What an odd way to spell her name. Huh. Maybe there's something to that. She'll be back, by the way, here in a little while, and hopefully a little bit more comfortable. A little bit nervous, but I think it's all right. Good start. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about Majors results. Buffalo is where we started everything on Thursday night with the ACO Adaptive. And thanks again to Jay and Lynn Longwell, Out and About Cornhole, and all the Buffalo players that rallied around us at the major there at Riverworks. What a cool facility right there on the riverfront. Indoor, outdoor, similar to what was going on at the OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater. But Jay and Lynn Longwell and everybody that came out for that, great stuff. And Matt Batman Davis not only did a great job spearheading and growing the adaptive event, which started in Buffalo last year, but is going to be doing that for, I believe, up to 8 majors in season 20. And congratulations right out of the chute to Batman and also to Hot Wheels. Russell Love defending their world championship from season 19 by grabbing the very first purple jersey of season 20 in the ACO Adaptive Division. Some great play. There was some really rough play. I mean, it's not easy. One of the things that we ask you, if you want to participate with a friend or a family member who is confined to a wheelchair, or if you are able-bodied but you would like to compete alongside or with them, you can do that. You just have to play from the chair. And we saw how that can be very limiting for someone who is used to being able to stand and throw, to sit. And so it brings that skill level around for you as the friend or family member, but it also shows you just how good some of these players are and are going to continue to get from the chair. So great stuff, Russell. Congratulations, Matt. Nicely done. We'll be interested to see how this continues to grow throughout season 1. Congratulations to our divisional winners. Our women's singles winner, Josephina Ernstberger, starts hot. The way she finished season 19, she took down Kim Dice. As a matter of fact, who I believe that was... Josephina was actually Phil's pick in time to Phil, but Kim Dice came in firing, and she had herself a really good weekend. Congratulations to Josephina. Co-ed doubles, the team that won season 19 Tier 2, in Buffalo was Jennifer DePasquale and her partner, Michael, I want to make sure I get this right, Ravenhorse Jr. Yes, Michael Ravenhorse Jr. They ended up coming out of winning Tier 2 last year. They said they're going to come back and win it all this year in co-ed. And they did, over Kim and Chad Jackson. Scott Harper takes seniors. Congratulations to him. In the Bagmaster quads, it was CBC, led by Kim Dice in a hard-fought battle over IMF. In juniors, Sammy Van Sickle comes out of the gate hot, and he takes down not just Phil's pick for the juniors champion, but our current reigning king of cornhole, Isaac Hurt. Sammy Van Sickle, nicely done. Congratulations. The first piece of the new round hardwood in the juniors division goes to him. Stuart Graham and Kim Dice come back in the big blind draw and score the winning plaques there as well. In main doubles, this is where the tier play came in, and that was sorted out by your PPR. The way PPRs were laid out, there were no Tier 2 doubles, but we went to Tier 3. Darren Bell and David Reese. Danny Miller and Jamie Gayhart were Tier 3. Tier 4, Darren Bell and David Reese. Tier 5, Dan Tiller and Kevin Smith. So more opportunities to win, more opportunities to come in and play shoulder to shoulder with people in the same skill level as you. You can play up, but you can't play down. And eventually you're going to end up in that doubles main bracket where you will then run into the three-peat season, team of the season, and World Championships of doubles, also the three-peat. How about Caleb Hurt and Isaac Hurt taking it home and starting the season right where they left off last year over Jacob Whaley and Daniel Parham, who had a great run, but it was just too much when it got down to it. And in World Singles out of Buffalo, Tier 2, it was Kendall Cox. Congratulations. Tier 3, Keith Jackson takes Tier 3, and Donnie Stauffenberger took Tier 4. There was nothing. There was no one in Tier 5. So that worked our way back to the main bracket, and the very first game out of the random seeding. There was seeding thanks to Scoreholio. They just basically did the coin flip for us with this random seeding. But the very first round of matches, it was Caleb versus Isaac. So everybody in the losers bracket going, oh, really? Great. Awesome. Thanks. The final match ended up being Caleb Hurt, who won that match in the first round against Isaac Hurt, who ended up getting bounced to the losers bracket and having to work his way back up. Caleb first, Isaac Hurt. Hayden Fridley, who had a great weekend, came in third. So congratulations to all of our winners there. Really, really good stuff. Now, off to the OCC. That was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Off to the OCC on Sunday and Monday. And, you know what? Before we go there, I want to thank the crew. I want to make sure that I get everybody mentioned in there because Junior and Tammy Williams, lights out, great stuff. The Hempies, Jesse and Barry, great stuff. Tiffany Sparks, Mad Maz, my man Heinerman, Charlie Gears, great stuff. Everything ran really, really smoothly. And kudos to everybody, even shaking the spiders out at the end. It was all good stuff. So thanks to the crew there that took us Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we turned things over to the crew at OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater, and that was Team Garner. That was Whitney and Jacob and Spencer and the whole crew. Sean Priest, LT, Wilson, Russell Tabers got the truck there. How about Andy Blada from B3 Bags and Steffi B? Great work there on the mics. Craig and Ashley Irvin, Brian Latham, Nikki, appreciate you guys. Great team in OCC in Clearwater. That was a Sunday, Monday holiday major, indoor, outdoors, a little bit warmer, I know, there than it was in Buffalo, but nevertheless, thanks to that whole team. Women's singles, Kennedy Meineke takes first place. Nicole Jones and Parker Burgett take ACO co-ed doubles. Nicely done there. ACO senior singles, and this was, he just inched out Johnny Thomas, Daryl Macon. Johnny was the call for Phil, I believe, but Daryl Macon edged out Johnny Thomas. In the quads, it was TNT edging out Elite Bags. In junior singles, Lane Cruz. How about that? I mean, I think he's grown a foot since last time I saw him. Lane Cruz over Parker Burgett. Congratulations to Lane in the juniors. Big blind draw, Kaz Barkley and River Green taking the honors there. In doubles, Tier 2, Jacob Mosley, Parker Burgett come in first in Tier 2. Tier 3, Kennedy Meineke and Louis Ney. Congratulations on Tier 3, Spencer and Jacob Garner. Tier 4, they take the trophies there. Nobody in Tier 5 in doubles, but in world doubles, At the OCC Roadhouse, it was Daryl Macon and Johnny Thomas edging out Phil's pick of Russell Tabers and Craig Irvin to take the trophy there. And in singles, Tier 2, LT Wilson, congratulations. Nicely done. Tier 3, David Sanchez takes the hardwood and the check. Timothy Smith takes Tier 4. There was no Tier 5. And in ACO World Singles, a name that you may or may not have heard of before, but I know Frank Geers ran into him in the early rounds. Andrew Lovelace, congratulations. And I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more of that name coming very soon. Lonnie Campos came in second. Johnny Thomas came in third. Xavier Williams, and you're saying, wait a minute, Xavier Williams, wasn't he in Buffalo? He was. A handful of players got on the plane in Buffalo, shot down to Clearwater, and made it for this one as well. Parker Burgett tied for fifth with Griffin Johnson, and those are the results from both Buffalo, and the OCC Roadhouse. Great stuff, and again, thanks to both crews for making it happen. Surveys are going out for both of those majors. Please make sure you fill those out. That helps us make a lot of hay with the CVBs and the cities that we go to find out what it was you did, how long you were there, and that's the kind of thing. And we reward you for filling out those surveys. We'll have the results for those. Now, if you go into a city and you stay a couple extra days, you get a chance to go around and see all the different things that city may have to offer. Nobody does that better and documents it better than Chad and Kim. Kim Dice, Chad Jackson, Buffalo, New York, and then some. Here's the new episode and the next episode of Season 20 of Chad and Kim's Cornhole Adventure.
We're back. Chad and Kim's Cornhole Adventures, Season 20. First stop, Buffalo River Works. After driving 13 hours overnight, we came straight in, ready to play. After 2 fun-filled days of playing, we had some good finishes in women's and co-ed and got to bring home some wood in quads with the Gammons and Stuart Graham in blind draw. Could you even say you went to Buffalo if you didn't at least have wings at Anchor Bar? The trip wouldn't have been complete without a stop by the original home of buffalo wings. After the tournament, we decided to take this adventure international and headed over to Canada. The view of Niagara Falls from Canada was definitely worth the drive. After a little sightseeing, we headed over to Niagara Falls View Casino. We enjoyed dinner at the Paramount, which had amazing Mediterranean food. For dessert, we stopped at Crepe Delicious, and the crepes really were delicious. We spent the rest of the evening walking around, sightseeing a little bit more. We walked back down to the falls to scope them out at night, and it really was beautiful. Next morning, we started out right with Tim Hortons for breakfast. We've been hearing so much about these donuts, and they didn't disappoint. To end the trip, we made a last-minute decision to head over to world-famous Cedar Point. This place is full of amazing roller coasters. 10 out of 10, definitely recommend. As always, thanks to our sponsors. Stay tuned for Chad and Kim's next big adventure.
Is it weird that I'm exhausted after watching that? Good golly. And I will tell you this, the food everywhere, whether it was on the Canadian side or at Riverworks or everywhere we went, was outstanding. That crepe right there has already got my mouth watering. I'm feeling it back in here. But thanks, Kim and Chad, for sharing your adventure. Looking forward to seeing those throughout the course of the season as the Road Dog Chase has already begun for so many ACO players here in Season 20. Buffalo, awesome. Clearwater, clearly awesome. But we've got to get to some other cities here very soon, and I thought I might see if she would come back and help a little bit with this for upcoming majors. I'm going to throw it back to one of our newest team members here on the TAICO. This would be AIMY, Amy.
Thanks, Finn. Season 20 began with a bang this past weekend with an even bigger one, literally planned for this weekend in Lake Charles. Then, September 13th and 14th were off to the Legends Major in Bryan, Texas. It's back to Toledo, September 20th and 21st before heading to Chicago and Atlantic City to wrap up our first full month on Season 20, September 27th and 28th. Tickets are on sale now at AmericanCornhole.com. Back to you, Finn.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And it's funny, she has one of those nervous tics like I used to have when I have long hair. When she gets a little nervous, she starts pulling on her hair. But anyway, Amy, AIMY, on the TAICO, a segment that you'll be seeing off and on here. You may or may not be figuring it out, but either way, it's a lot of fun for us. Anyway, and we are going to be updating the save the date, the schedule for the entire season 20 majors. And the reason is, we're going to put indicators on so that you know. We've mentioned it in the taco before, but so that you know if there is an outdoor component. We've been trying to change things up. We're going to have some 3-day majors. We got the super major, some indoor, outdoor, just so you know what to plan for a little bit more. We assumed everybody knew about that from the first couple times we mentioned it on the taco, but we will be adding it to the schedule so you can see sort of a key as to what there is to expect from the facility. 90% of the time, if not 95%, all indoors as you've become accustomed to. But in order to do things like Camp Margaritaville, Punta Gorda, and others, people seem to like that, schedule changes and so on and so forth. It would help if you knew up front, I'm sure, but hopefully you enjoy the little bit of the twists and turns and little tweaks and wrinkles that we throw into season 20 just to keep it interesting. Thanks again, Amy. I appreciate the look ahead. Don't forget to, any one of our bag partners, if you need something, they've got it for you. Check out that scroll across the bottom. And before we wrap things up, just a quick reminder. We're going to wrap up with time to fill. Don't go anywhere. Just a reminder, Lake Charles, if you're going to the Lake Charles Major this weekend, Saturday, everything's been pushed back to start at 9:30 at the event center because they're imploding the Capital One Tower across the way at 8 a.m. So if you want to get down there and see that happen live, it only takes about 7 or 8 seconds for the whole thing to come down if it, done the way it's supposed to. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. If you haven't seen one of these in person, make sure you get down there if you're going to Lake Charles. That's the hottest news of the weekend. If you're heading to Lake Charles, don't miss that. We will put a link down into the bottom so the story is there for you can see it. Also, parking on the other side of the event center is going to be required, but make sure that you get there to be a part of that. It is really something to see. So before we turn things over to Phil, and time to Phil, he recorded from his regional this past weekend, so pay very close attention. I am Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO. Happy to be underway in season 20. Can't wait to get to Tulsa between now and then. We got lots to get to, lots of tacos to serve up. And on behalf of Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude, Heinerman, and everybody behind the scenes here, we're going to turn things over to Time to Fill with a reminder to you all season long. Keep on pitching.
Welcome to another episode of Time to Fill. I'm at M&M Auction, the home of Elite Bags, where my man Reed Shook is running one of the most loaded regionals you'll ever come across. This week, we're heading to Lake Charles, Louisiana for the Lake Charles Major. So I'm going to go with my picks now. Let's start out with women, and I'm going to go with Kelsey Heintrich. In juniors, I'm going to go with Mason Higgins, but watch out for Parker Burgess. Who you got for juniors? Me, Kate B. And seniors, I'm going to go with Johnny Thomas. And go in, listen to this team right here. You're going to like this, Reed. You're going to like this. Brandon Lacewell and Lisa Hill to take down the co-ed. Watch out for the Puckets and Parker Burgess and Nicole Jones won down in Clearwater this week. In doubles, I got to go with River Green and Chase Puckett. That's going to be a good team. But watch out for Mason Higgins and the Aston Watkins. And watch out also for Sebastian and Larry Young, who's going to be in there. And then singles, Seabass gets his first major win this week in Lake Charles. And that's the move I picked. Who you got in singles?
I got Dustin Aran.
Dustin Aran. That's a great pick. That's a great pick. And that's going to be my picks this week for Time to Fill. If you think I should pick you, prove me wrong.